It's 121 BC, and we're in the middle of our story, The Return to the Land of Nephi, which we'll call Episode 3. Ammon, no, not that one, Ammon the Explorer and company saunter up to the walls of a mysterious city toward a very important-looking man, who turns out to be the king. And whoa, they're immediately surrounded and thrown in jail for 2 days. This is King Limhi, who wonders why these wicked priests of his father, King Noah, would be so bold to approach him. Only these aren't the wicked priests of King Noah like he thought, and little does King Limhi know, but Ammon and company are the answer to Limhi and his people's many prayers because of their awful captivity by the Lamanites. And so begins one of the best and most complete side stories in the Book of Mormon that features 4 episodes, or stories, of the people of Zenith. Let's go back to the very beginning, Episode 1, the first prequel. About 100 years prior, the Nephite nation was threatened by the Lamanites, which led King Mosiah I and those who followed him to totally abandon their land of Nephi. After a journey in the wilderness, they found and unified with the Amalekites in Zarahemla. Many years later, while scouting Lamanite forces, the self-proclaimed overzealous Zenith became determined to make peace with the Lamanites and resettle the land of Nephi. So Zenith recruited a big group to go with him and made a dubious treaty with the less-than-honest King Laman to resettle their land. But you see, King Laman had an evil master plan. Let Zenith's group resettle, wait 12 years, conquer Zenith's people, and glut on their work with a never-ending 50% tax. Maniacal laugh. But Zenith prepared his people in this most precarious place by planting crops, rebuilding walls, and arming his people. But most importantly, he had them put their faith in the Lord, not in their own arm, pleading with the Lord to deliver them in battle against King Laman until Laman and his son, 10 years later, abandoned their evil plot. For a time. And thus, Episode 1 ends on a high note. Next episode, we'll cover the famous story of Abinadi and King Noah as Abinadi warns that the people will be put into bondage. And later on, Episode 4, The Liberation of the People of Alma, will finish this saga after Episode 2. Yes, it jumps around a lot, but that's how it's written, and is a testament to the truthfulness of the book. So now, our story jumps back to the beginning of Episode 3. As Lamanites conquer the land of Nephi, King Noah runs away and is burned. His son, Limhi, makes a treaty with the Lamanites. If his people pay half of their possessions every year, they won't be hurt or killed. In the meantime, the wicked priests of King Noah, who escape into the wilderness, abduct 24 Lamanite daughters, which results in the Lamanites going to war with Limhi's people again. After everything is sorted out through the fallen Lamanite king, Limhi's people are severely persecuted, thus fulfilling Abinadi's prophecies that they be driven like beasts. But after a bit, Limhi's people are totally fed up. They try 3 times to fight their way to freedom, but it only leaves many, many widows and a more painful bondage for everyone. Okay, so now we're back where we began in the middle of Episode 3, and we can now better understand why King Limhi mistakenly imprisons Ammon and company. Limhi's people have finally hit rock bottom and are at the depths of humility. Now the Lord could send Ammon to help. Now in chapter 7, verse 19, King Limhi, probably mimicking King Benjamin, gathers all his people to the temple to encourage and teach them, and us, how to fully turn back to the Lord and finally be spiritually and physically free. Many of us have faced or will face something that seems insurmountable. And in those times of trouble, remember this outline when we need some or a lot of extra faith to overcome these challenges. First, Limhi recognizes, guys, what we've been doing isn't working. Swashbuckling our way out while sensible, okay, maybe not 3 times, didn't work, and we were literally trusting in our own arms. Next, he imparts hope through past examples. Limhi proclaims to his demoralized people, Lift up your heads and rejoice, and put your trust in God. He fuels this admonition with examples of how Moses liberated Israel and how the Lord delivered Lehi's family from Jerusalem's destruction. Yes, faith really does work. Third, Limhi has his people own their mistakes. Yes, they helped kill the prophet Abinadi, each other, and even themselves while fighting the Lamanites because of their wickedness and trusting in their own strength. Yes, their sins and pride led to their destruction and captivity. However, there is a way out: total trust. It's time, he says, to turn to the Lord and totally trust and serve him with all diligence of mind. Then, on his time, he will deliver. And finally, they've left their wicked path, their path of vengeance, and are back on Christ's path of mercy. You know, it's interesting how their repentance process parallels the 12-step programs that have been a blessing to millions in overcoming addictions and major problems. And finally, this episode 3 concludes as Gideon lays out an inspired escape plan that's perfectly executed. At the back wall of the city, the guards get drunk at night. We'll give them our last wine payment, they'll get drunk, and we'll sneak out, go around Shilem, and back to Zarahemla. So let's let this powerful example and Limhi's words give us all strength to overcome our seemingly insurmountable battles that we face, or someday will face.